We all have things that are important to us. When there's a threat to those things, it's natural to want to speak out. For the past few years, DarkViperAU has railed against reaction channels, claiming that they were against fair use. He is now focusing criticism on the commentary community specifically, and because I happen to be a part of said community, I figure we should take a look at this. Let's get into it. DarkViper rose to prominence as a GTA 5 YouTuber, but most people know him for his beef with Moist Critical over reaction videos. DarkViper would claim that it was not only immoral to make reaction videos, it was also a violation of fair use law. There would be a bit of a back and forth between them for a while, but they would eventually end up coming to an understanding, which boosted DarkViper's popularity quite a bit in the eyes of the public. It's very rare that internet drama ends in any productive way, so people tend to be happy when they see maturity online. The only problem in all this was that DarkViper was still somewhat fixated on reaction content, and that fixation would land him in even more drama. DarkViper's latest beef started when he submitted a copyright claim on an upload from a streamer named ChudLogic who reacted to his video.
I came to learn that Chud hosts watch parties, group discussion sessions, of other people's creative works quite frequently. He plays the original video in full, without alteration, traditionally ignorant of the contents of the video beforehand. When I struck the video, my expectation was that it would go through as normal, Chud might be dumb enough to dispute it, which would mean we would go to court, and we could get our first case that would specifically judge watch parties in regards to fair use. The guidelines, and every case related to fair use I'm aware of, suggest you could not use a fair use defense for hosting a watch party of a copyrighted work, but most people seem unaware of this. So maybe this was a chance for people to be informed. To my surprise, my claim didn't go through and YouTube requested more information. So I answered their questions in full, to which they immediately rejected my claim. This was confusing because YouTube is not a legal body. It has no authority to declare what is or is not a violation of law, or what violations of copyright can be defended by an affirmative defense of fair use. It makes sense that public pressure would embolden YouTube to reject obviously frivolous claims, but in this case, literally my entire work was re-uploaded on another person's channel, and they have always taken down such instances before. In the re-upload itself, the person states that they do not believe they have the right to host a watch party of my work. They openly admitted their guilt. Despite this, I had no luck poking YouTube with a stick to try to get information out of them, and lacking any evidence I was not just getting automated responses, I asked my accountant who works with a lot of high-profile creators if they knew any lawyers who do the same.
DarkViper's main gripe is that ChudLogic watched his full video, and he claims that that gave him the right to file a DMCA claim. Him saying that ChudLogic was hosting a watch party is interesting, given how he just showed ChudLogic giving commentary over his video. It seems like the situation falls under Section 107 of the copyright law, which states, the fair use of a copyrighted work, including such use by reproduction in copies or phono records or by any other means, specified by that section for purposes such as criticism, comments, news reporting, teaching, including multiple copies for classroom use, scholarship, or research, is not an infringement of copyright. A common theme throughout this video is the use of DarkViper's full content, which is just so weird. Would he be okay if it was just 99% of his video? What about 80%? What is okay to use? He's clearly fine with using clips of other people's content, so does he just disagree with the format of your typical reaction?
Same with Asmongold Reacts. Yes, he talks a lot, but it includes the entire video.
Of course, I don't really care that it's illegal. I care more that it is grossly immoral for reasons I have also explained to death. I have no problem with commentary content, people making their own videos that require some use of other people's work for context.
It's pretty funny to see DarkViper claim that he doesn't care about legality in 1 minute, then turn around and use the DMCA system and threaten lawsuits. He spends the entire video clearly reading off a script, yet manages to contradict himself within 3 minutes. DarkViper tries to treat the length of ChudLogic's commentary as some sort of gotcha moment to drive home his point about fair use, but if you take a look at the case involving Sargon of Akkad, he put out a video that didn't even have any commentary in it, and was just edited clips of another person's video put together, and the court ended up ruling in Sargon's favor. These are two very different situations, but that is something to keep in mind.
Now, this video is a reaction to DarkViper. Make no mistake, like, it is a reaction video. He watches the entire thing in full, but it's 35 minutes long. He adds a lot of commentary, and the original video was less than 10 minutes. So by that metric, about 26 minutes of the reaction is made up of commentary from Chud, where he transforms the original content.
Tom uses the word transformation as seemingly a synonym of addition, but it's not legally or how the word is generally used. To use a silly example, here's the turtle from Super Auto Pets. Now I'm gonna add a hat to it. It's still a turtle. The turtle hasn't been transformed. It is exactly as it was before. There's just a hat on it now.
This example is flawed. I know this is a bit of a nitpick, but he literally added something to the turtle. It's not the exact same as it was before. Transformation might not be a legal synonym for addition, but Chud Logic clearly added to the video quite a bit. To make the turtle analogy accurate, you'd have to add a hat, sunglasses, a car, grass, and tons of other things to actually represent what went on with Chud's video.
In the reaction, my content is still there, unchanged, in full. It's like if you compared watching a movie by yourself or with a friend. Comparatively, absolutely, your friend can add something to that experience. You might enjoy yourself more, your experience would be different, but the content of the movie would not change even slightly. It would never be transformed, regardless of how many times you pause the movie to shit talk it.
Transformation does not really factor in here, given how what he is bringing up would be considered criticism, which is not considered copyright infringement. Whether or not the video has been transformed really does not factor in at that point. If 20 minutes of commentary on a 9-minute video is not adding to the video, then how is Dark Viper's use of clips from other people's videos any better? Is it the percentage of video being used that makes it bad? If so, I would ask again, what even is an acceptable percentage?
If you're reviewing an album, I think you should be able to play the entire album, every single second of it, so long as you're constantly adding commentary. If the viewer wants to go listen to that album, and that album alone, it's extremely easy to find that on YouTube for free in the same way that they would see that review. But if they're watching your review, it's my belief that they must want your commentary, not just the commentary of the original piece. They want to see you react to it.
Music will always be a bad example because a song can be listened to hundreds of times. You can still be listening to the same song decades later. To use a counter extreme example, imagine I spent the afternoon drawing dogs. Then I made myself a bot that automatically downloads every single game on Steam and then adds my drawings of dogs to the loading screens and then re-uploads all those games back to Steam but lists them at 50% off the cost of the original game. I am adding something, Tom. My dog drawings are right there. I would be very surprised if he was supportive of such a thing and didn't see it as exploitative.
This one isn't even a comparison, quite honestly. When someone gives a good reaction, they are putting out their thoughts on a video, and people tend to want to hear that person's thoughts, which is why they watch their reaction videos. Giving criticism, as Dark Viper himself is doing, is not the same as putting a drawing of a dog in a game. Video game copyright law is a different beast entirely, so a better comparison would have been something like adding scenes to a film. You can't do that because of the legal precedent for protections around IPs. When it comes to reaction content, there is absolutely no legal precedent against the reactor. Whether with Sargon or H3H3, the courts tend to side with the reactor in these situations. Reaction content can sometimes be pretty good. It can also be awful. Trying to paint an entire subgenre with a broad brush is at best lazy and at worst malicious. Dark Viper has made it clear that he thinks he has a legal foot to stand on here, and while he has said that he has a lawyer who agrees with him on that fact, I highly doubt that it would be anything close to an open and shut case like he tries to insinuate. If it was, then why not open a case and establish legal precedent? Dark Viper makes sure to let his viewers know multiple times that he has so much more money than the people he's going after that winnings from a lawsuit wouldn't even matter. But remember, he said the morality of the situation was his issue. If he could establish the legal precedent to end reaction content, he would. The fact that he won't even try is quite telling.